Picture a law so quiet most Americans have never heard of it, yet powerful enough to lock entire inventions away from the public. Not classified military blueprints, not nuclear codes. Everyday citizens' ideas, engineers, scientists, backyard tinkerers, people who believe they were filing a patent, only to have the government step in and say, this invention will never see daylight. That law is the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951. Now, the official story is straightforward. Cold War had just begun. The United States had entered an era where technological advantage meant survival, radar, cryptography, nuclear science, aerospace engineering. These weren't just innovations anymore, they were strategic weapons. So Congress created a mechanism allowing the government to place a secrecy order on patent applications that could threaten national security if publicly disclosed. In simple terms, if your invention might give America's enemies an advantage, the government can legally silence it. Your patent gets frozen, you're restricted from sharing the idea, and in some cases, you can't even manufacture it. No headlines, no public debate, just a quiet letter from the patent office. Think about that. Somewhere out there are technologies the public has never seen. Inventions considered too sensitive to release. Most of them are likely mundane military tools, advanced radar systems, guidance systems, encryption methods, things you expect governments to guard carefully. But every once in a while, the law brushes up against stranger territory. Independent inventors have claimed their clean energy devices were suppressed. Some engineers say revolutionary propulsion concepts have been sealed. Others believe the law quietly protects technologies decades ahead of their time. The question isn't whether secrecy exists. The question is how much innovation has disappeared behind it.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Oh, God, my nose is... I am right now. I am absolutely just clogged up. My like I feel like I got a weight on my face right now.
No.
It's my nose is all jacked up, and I'm running nose, and just I think it's hay fever, what they call it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gotten warm, and now it's gotten a little cool again. And the pollen's out.
Everywhere.
It's just that time of the year.
Yeah.
And good old Jason. It's just, I've just noticed the older I've gotten, the more sensitive I've gotten to pollen.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I don't recall ever, when I was younger, ever dealing with allergies the way I deal with allergies.
One of the
now.
things about that is the older you get, the lining of your nose gets thinner.
Mm.
There's actually a laser surgery out there that helps correct that. But the thinner that lining is, the more susceptible you are to the pollens, to the viruses. Like right now, viral pneumonia is running rampant everywhere. Almost as bad as the flu, from what I understand. So we need to be careful with that too. So
How was your honeymoon? Did everything go okay?
Oh, God. That's right. We haven't talked
Yeah,
about
we
that
haven't.
since I got back.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That was an absolute beautiful trip. I highly recommend Aruba
Yeah.
as a vacation
I've
destination.
heard it's very beautiful.
We did some very fun things. We did a lot of just laying on the beach.
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's awesome.
But Aruba, where it sits, it's about 18 miles off the Venezuelan coast.
Okay.
And on a clear day, you can actually see the coast of Venezuela from
Really?
Aruba. Some interesting facts, though, about Aruba. Aruba is an independent country.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Dutch protectorate. So
Really?
all their government documents are in Dutch.
Yeah.
The population of the island is actually very highly educated.
Okay.
They are everybody that grows up there, before they graduate high school, you have to speak 4 languages. So you have to speak Spanish, Dutch,
Yeah.
English, and their native language.
Wow.
That is a requirement before you graduate from high school. I can imagine that was here in the United States.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
A lot of people wouldn't be graduating high school, I can
right.
tell you.
I think that we should have at least two in
definitely.
America. I think there should be two.
Yeah.
Fluent in English, which is hard right now for most kids if you're watching social media. But I think one, you pick it, French, Spanish, Russian, something. You need to pick another language and learn it.
Yeah.
Before you can graduate high school.
It's a beautiful island. It really is. The people were very, very friendly. But where Aruba sits, so the part of the island, the side of the island we stayed on, is not subjected to the easterlies.
Okay.
So the winds are very brisk. I mean, just daily. The winds are 25, 30 miles an hour.
Whoa.
That's just normal.
Yeah.
So you got to put the hats and stuff. You got it because they'll blow right off your head. The weather's the same pretty much every day. About 82 for a high and about 65 for a low.
Whoa.
It is. They say, that's what I've said. The weather is the same literally every day. It's outside the hurricane belt, so it's not subjected to hurricanes.
Interesting.
But where we stayed, our side of the island, the water is like a swimming pool. And that's the open ocean that you're looking at.
That's
but when I
crazy.
tell you, I've seen swimming pools rougher than what I saw that. When I tell you it was barely a trickle of a wave washing up on the shore. On the other side of the island, it's the complete opposite. It's a desert over there.
Interesting.
It looks like you're in Arizona.
Whoa.
Cactus everywhere.
That's crazy.
And the surf is pounding. It looks like you're off the coast of California. It's very jagged, very rocky and stuff like that. So, but we had an opportunity to go take a dune buggy excursion.
That's fun.
So her and I got in a dune buggy and we zipped around with the tour group.
That's
fun. So we had a good time with that.
Cool.
Yeah, we had a dinner cruise, 4-course meal with the chef.
Oh, heck yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, saw the sunset. But the only thing we didn't do that if we'd had another day,
right,
we'd probably have done a catamaran snorkeling.
Okay.
Because the snorkeling's great. Out there,
especially on that side you're talking about where the water is super chill.
Is calm as can be. There's a lot of coral reefs there. So the fish, you got the turtles, you got all that.
That's
so cool. the water is great. So it was just a great. And we had dinner out on the beach. Food was delicious.
Yeah,
I said friendly people, zero crime. When I tell you,
interesting.
Yeah, we'd walked around in some areas where we stayed at a place called Boardwalk Boutique.
Okay,
and Tracy did a real good job of researching places where we could stay.
Yeah,
and she found this place because it had tremendous reviews. And I can understand why. I mean, literally, I felt like when I walked in there, I felt like I was on Fantasy Island or something.
That's cool.
It was just kind of showing my age a little bit.
The plane.
The plane.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would walk, and we found a little restaurant, kind of that the locals had recommended, and we walked through some areas that you would probably look at and go, that'd be a little suspect,
Yeah.
When I tell you, the people are like, hey, man, what's going on? It's just it's nice and friendly, and people just running around and walking, and it's just I felt a whole lot safer there than in not far from my own house. Sounds
like you're in paradise.
It truly was. It was a tremendous experience.
See, that's one of the things Mexico has not learned yet. Roatan, Aruba, apparently, Venezuela. We just lost a dictator from there. Honduras is a socialistic state, but Roatan is an island off of Honduras.
Off of Honduras.
Even the Honduran government says we're going to keep you safe. You do what you want. There's very little crime, if any, on the island of Roatan.
I've been to Roatan.
I do too. because they know that's where all the tourists are.
Oh, yeah.
That's where all the money is.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, why don't they learn that in Mexico?
No.
I don't know. You
Priorities.
heard that the ports were shut down for a little while, and Cancun and what's the other one? A couple of other ones over there. You heard the ports were shut down because of the gangs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the narco, the drugs,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
gosh.
Yeah, some of these countries, Mexico to me is a country of lost opportunity because if it ever got its act together
Oh, yeah.
and really clamped down on the drug problem and the drug traffickers, that would be a huge tourist destination for people. So, but, you know.
Well, I mean, it still is. It could be even more, but the cartels run everything,
Yeah.
including the politics.
It could be a whole lot better than what it is now. But oh, I have to mention, Stoney Tracy meant for me to tell you that the little thing you said in the last podcast, she loved it.
She
Of
did.
course.
She says, "Tell
Yeah,
Stoney
yeah.
thank you." That was very sweet of him.
Did your mom ever listen?
I don't know if Mom has or
Because I
not.
told her to listen for that
I
one.
have to check if she has or not, but I know Tracy did.
She
goes,
did.
That's
That's
good.
awesome.
Love that.
So, but yeah, we had a great time.
I'm so glad.
Coming back was a long day. It was about a 12-hour day, but
Oh, yeah. That sounds rough.
we had a long wait in Charlotte Airport, and then we get on the plane, and we're backing off the the taxiing going out to go take off, and then
Right.
it just I sit there and wait and wait and
Yeah.
wait, and I'm like, what the hell's
What's
going on?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I look at the window, and we're right back to where we started. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
pilot gets on and says, "Well, we had to turn around because we have to get more fuel on the plane because the airport at Baton Rouge has contaminated fuel, so they can't
no.
they can't refuel the plane that
next
night
stop,
until
yeah.
it could take off the next day." So they had to put enough fuel in the plane in Charlotte, so when it landed in Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
it actually could take off again the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
morning for its wherever it was
Oh,
going.
man.
So it just took forever.
Of course.
we didn't get home till midnight,
Mm.
and we had left. I mean, we got to the road to the Reuben Airport. It's like because they told us to get there 3 hours before because
Yeah.
of getting through customs.
Of course.
But American customs is there, so once you go through there, you don't have to go through it once you land. So,
Yeah.
but we kind of walked through that thing. There was hardly anybody there. It was like we were expecting all these long lines.
TSA's done right now.
And we zipped right on through. Before
Yeah.
we knew, we
Wow.
were through
That's crazy
customs,
'cause you
through
hear
deal.
Lines.
Well,
and
yeah,
lines
right
and
down. I
lines,
just saw
yeah.
some deals at the New Orleans airport right now because the government's partially shut down. But yeah,
Oh, gosh.
so yeah, because we're planning our next trip. This is more of a family trip. We're going to North Carolina, I think, in July.
Okay.
So
Some things are shifting around in my life right now, and I would like my plans were to try and go to the beach at some point, maybe April or May. Because of how things are shaking out, it may have to be postponed a little bit, which I'm kind of sad about. But I'm still optimistic that maybe we can work something out. But I was a little jealous of you guys because I was like, I hope you guys have a fun time because that sounds like it's gonna be a fun
Biloxi's
trip.
only an
I know,
hour and a half
I know,
ride.
I
I mean,
know.
you can go hit Biloxi in
I
a
could,
day.
but I want to spend I want to take off a week, and I want to
Oh.
I want to have a vacation. Like I haven't had like a proper vacation in a while, and I think that'd be nice. And also, I want to go treat Maya. I want to go do something.
Bay St. Louis, I would highly recommend.
Yeah.
As a really quick, within 2 hours, you can be there. Easy trip. It's a neat little town. Got nice little shops. They've got, the water's what it is for Mississippi,
Gulf of
but
Mexico, yeah.
Right.
but it's just too close to the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I highly recommend that place. I remember going there some years past, and if you like kayaking,
Yeah.
just kind of chilling out, it's a great place. I said
I'll
close
consider it.
by,
Yeah.
relatively inexpensive, and I think y'all would probably enjoy that.
Okay.
But
Well, anyways, I was curious. Like I said, I wanted to hear about your trip. I haven't had a chance to talk about it.
golly, I still have dreams.
I still remember Paradise.
Still have
Yeah.
dreams.
How
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, it was great. So
Well.
yeah, we've got an interesting topic.
Yes, the Invention Secrecy Act.
Yeah.
This is a U.S. law that lets the federal government, and this is, remember Ronald Reagan said the worst sentence in the world is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Exactly.
Yep.
Block certain patent applications from being published, granted, if officials decide that the invention could be detrimental to national security. Boy, that's kind of an open-ended little statement there. And it's coded in Title 35. And this is not a dead law. This isn't something they put in and they don't actively use.
Right.
At the end of 2025, there were 6,543 secrecy orders in effect, stopping patents.
6,000. That's
Yes.
crazy.
At the end of the fiscal year, there were 100 of 2025. There were 102 new secrecy orders, and 30 were rescinded.
Okay.
So basically, once they put it on, let's say you invented a widget thing, okay, and you tried, they would say, okay, you can't talk about this, you can't do anything for 1 year. And think about this, all 6,500 of these have to be redecided every year.
Really?
Yes, every year.
That's crazy.
Yep.
There's a department that just goes over that?
Yeah, Department of Patents. And when the government pops it down, that's it. You can't do anything with it.
I wonder what some of those
You
are.
can't talk about it.
6,500 is a lot to go through.
Yeah, tens of thousands of patent applications are screened for national security implications. A variety of government agencies. I mean, any agencies that can basically make something classified. So,
Right.
The FBI, NSA, the military, you name it. Pentagon, Homeland Security, any of those can basically say, yeah, we can't let this get out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, the conspiracy theorists, and of course they're up 72-0 right now. They think this is one of the things that the government does to steal the inventions.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Don't know if that's a possibility, but that's one of the things that kept coming up when I kept looking at this. Is this something, what are they really hiding?
Yeah. The next military grade gadget was
even
last year's.
What
patent.
if it's somebody like the guy who invented the car that ran on water?
Oh yeah, I remember you talked about that one.
That out, okay, you just destroyed the whole economy, world economy of oil.
Right.
So would the government stop that just to protect their own
assets?
But here's where I go with this. Okay, like Jason said, they put it in there, and the government does this. What if Nancy Pelosi needs to wait a year so she can get a couple of funds to work on her insider trading? Because when a new invention pops up in a company, their stock will go up, and she needs to make sure she have enough money for her insider trading.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
What if that, I said it's a broad thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's vague on purpose.
Vague on purpose. Yes, I love that. That's awesome.
He said on average, about 12 privately created inventions per year receive secrecy orders. So these are basically
last year they had 105.
Well, it's on average.
Yeah. Must have been a popular year yet last year.
Yeah, that's a hot now. These are now they make the distinctions. They say these are privately created. So these are just like your guy in the garage. They're called basically John Doe secrecy orders.
Interesting.
That's what they call them.
I feel like if I was to get that, I would be simultaneously frustrated and also kind of honored. I feel like
well, that's where you hear the stories of these people that have made claims about, and we've kind of mentioned this over time through this podcast about people getting their stuff mysteriously taken and then somehow mysteriously they die.
Yeah.
Which I was absolutely shocked, the amount of people that had some mysterious illness or something happened to them.
Everything's okay, and then something happens.
And then, they're in perfect health, and then just when they're fixing to go and
stand
have a
trial
meeting
or whatever,
they something happens to them. So,
Well, this law came about July 19th in 1952.
Okay.
Even as far back as World War I, the government was doing things to kind of suppress some stuff. Because obviously when you're developing new things and, the garage inventor and stuff like that, you don't want your enemies to catch on to some of the stuff you're doing. Or, think about the first tank that went into World War I when, everybody was sitting in trenches and all of a sudden this first metal monster came out onto the field.
Yeah.
But in World War II, it became even more necessary because war is unfortunately the greatest inventor.
Yes.
It medical weapons, you name it. Even like super glue. I think that was for wounds.
I think we talked about that in a previous episode about how we've kind of been in a perpetual state of war over the past 20 something years because of that.
Well, I would say we've been in perpetual state of war since World War II.
Yeah.
I mean,
for that same reason.
Right after World War II, you had Korea and Vietnam, and I don't think we've ever really just had our boys home.
Right.
Well, 1951 is kind of important because that's the early stages of the Cold War.
Yeah.
Russia and Russia and America were friends back then.
You got some secrets you want to tell us?
Right, yeah. We might need to fix that. Mark that down. The Soviet threat was there.
Yeah.
Nuclear, competition was starting to come out. So it's a vital time right there where the government just said, we need to pass a law that we can do this to protect national security. Vaguely protect national security, but still needed to do it.
Right.
I mean, think all the things that were coming out at that time.
Yeah.
Missiles, radar, the nuclear stuff, everything.
Yeah. Which I think there is potentially a good intention behind it. Especially when I try and frame it from that perspective of 1950, how much is coming about, how much is about to be, and again, also how much does the government know at that time that the probably the masses didn't know, and so it's just that how much is everyone learning all at the same time, and all that stuff, and so I think there's so I feel like it's it's like many things in history. I feel like it's one of those things that has good intention behind it, but then as time has progressed, it has become this kind of corrupted tool to.
They say in World War II more than 11,000 patent applications were suppressed.
11,000?
In World War II.
Cool.
Yeah. It says it has more than doubled since the Cold War era.
That's wild.
They say most of these inventions get classified under predictable categories: military weapon systems, cryptography, and cybersecurity, radar and surveillance, nuclear-related engineering, space and satellite systems, and now certain AI, quantum, and communication technologies. So, somebody creates an AI program that can crack every password.
Right.
AI was at one time. I'll get into that later because I have a list of things that have been rescinded.
Yeah.
I have the top 25 rescinded patents over the last 20 years.
That's cool.
But when you're doing this, the patent examining procedure, you can get classified in three types: type 1, 2, and 3. Type 1 is the least restrictive. It's basically designed to allow the widest use of technical data while still preventing disclosure to prevent unlawful export out somewhere else.
Right.
Type 2. That's more technical data for classified materials, and type 3 is just a broader catch-all.
Yeah.
You're done for a year. Don't talk about it to your wife. Don't talk about it to don't manufacture it.
Right.
Don't tweak it. Don't do anything to it. Nothing. You can't do anything. So, I mean, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
They're not playing.
No.
They're not playing.
That's interesting. And it's interesting that it's still going today.
Oh, yeah, believe it or
not.
I
bet it looks different then.
But you could pull up right now YouTube, and there's all kind of stuff regarding certain inventions that have been made that I do believe that there's a lot of technology that would have benefited society at large if allowed to get out. But I understand to a degree, the guy that created the motor that can run on water.
Yeah.
So you think about that, while at the same time we say, well, wow, why couldn't that be out and
Right.
get
Because
out?
it would destroy all of the money that the politicians
Well, the
are
question
making.
is, it would completely collapse the economy.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Well, the thing is, though, it would affect everybody.
Yes.
That would be a worldwide. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
That would be a worldwide complete collapse of the oil industry. I mean, countries would bankrupt.
Right. It would just be so. At one side of me is like, yes, let's do it. But, at the same time, I understand that the economy it's a bit fragile and it's interconnected. And, it would hurt a lot of people if all of a sudden everybody can just go pour some water out of the bathtub and dump it in the car and let's go on down the road. I mean,
Right.
so, I'm not saying that the economy, that there couldn't be a recovery period, but
Right.
at the same time, it would be a huge disruption. So I can understand some of these inventions basically saying,
I think
no, we can't.
I think it's a both and too. I think it is the economy, the fragility of the economy, but I think it also, there's a lot of money tied up in it. And then the second you start making things like that, it's like, oh, we're going to lose. Because I think that's the big situation with electric cars. And I think we have the ability to, in the most recent years, we've had batteries have gotten better, solar panels have gotten cheaper, and have gotten easier to manufacture. And we can harness the power of the sun, which is we can just keep using that. It's always around. I mean, barring some weather days. But like, you only get to use gas once and you burn it, it's gone forever.
That's right.
But like, the thing is, like, there's money tied up in that. There's like,
there's jobs tied up into that.
That's the thing where it's like, I think it's not just like you could make the switch, but I think it's going to be harder because there's a lot of other things.
We've talked about what happened with Tesla.
all
his paperwork, all that stuff got scooped up after he died in 1943 in his New York apartment, and all that stuff got classified.
You got to wonder if he partly wasn't the reason that this happened.
Yep.
Because he had the death ray.
Yep.
Yeah.
He invented, supposedly, the death ray.
Right.
And the government didn't want the Russians to get a hold of that, huh?
No.
Well, I would venture to say a lot of his stuff is just now starting to be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're starting to see glimpses of some of this stuff that you're now hearing in the news with the war in Iran.
Yeah.
And stuff what happened in Venezuela with directed energy and stuff like that. You can't tell me that some of this stuff was probably inspired by what Tesla wanted to do. So, yeah, do I think there's a lot of stuff under wraps? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely there is.
Well, one of the things, there was a couple of different classifications when I did my list, and they broke it down into artificial intelligence and computing, aerospace and space technology, communications and encryption, robotics and autonomous systems, materials and manufacturing. Funny you said that. The number 22 thing on the list in the last 5 years is directed energy resistant coatings.
Yeah.
Advanced carbon fiber nanocomposites.
Yeah.
Self-healing structural materials.
Interesting.
And high-temperature ceramic composites. That's 19, 20, 21, and 22.
Wow.
And when you said that, I had to pop that in there because that was one of the top 25 things in the last 5 years that's been rescinded and allowed to come out into the public.
Interesting.
The number one thing is large-scale AI neural network training methods.
Really?
Remember in Matrix when they plugged in the thing and you learned it automatically?
Yeah.
That's what that is. Advanced machine learning, surveillance analytics, AI-driven battlefield logistics systems. Remember Whopper?
Oh, God, I hate it.
Remember Whopper from War Games?
Yep.
Quantum resistant encryption algorithms.
That's interesting.
See,
that's interesting.
They're already working on something to combat quantum physics.
Or quantum
Quantum mechanics. Yeah,
quantum
computing.
Yeah.
Neuromorphic computing chips. I'd
Interesting.
like to know what the hell that is.
I think that's probably brain
Probably,
chips.
probably.
Well, I mean, Elon Musk,
you're
said
right.
they've already created that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Now think about this one. Now, number 6 falls under aerospace and space technology.
Mhm.
Elon Musk is probably one of the top ones for reusable rocket landing systems.
Yeah.
But I want y'all to remember the last 2 years.
Yep.
Okay. Think about this. Pick your brains. I can't do this, so you got to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Autonomous drone swarm coordination.
Interesting.
How many times there are drones over here, there are drones over here, and they're doing this and they're doing that.
Yeah, it don't look like the drones are doing too much that all the the Iranians were known for was drone creation, and looks like we have had countermeasures that were already there. I know there was, I think, 3 carriers. I think it has something to do with the number of ships and how this technology is coordinated. So, yeah, it's interesting. As I said, it's
the 25th thing, something what you were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Ultra efficient power storage materials.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting list.
It is.
Because
and these are all the things that were banned underneath the Secrecy Act, but are now allowed.
they've been rescinded and allowed out there.
Okay.
Yep.
How long has those been?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, probably since the alien ship crashed in where was that? Where did it crash? Shit.
Roswell?
Yeah,
Roswell. This memory, this
Matter
brain.
of fact, I was listening to a podcast today about regarding all this UFO disclosure and what's going on with all that. I believe there's some interesting stuff going on right now regarding all that. I listened to a guy that Stoney you probably would find interesting, but we'll talk about that after the show. But yeah, here's a few things that they mentioned here about some systems that were developed. Said during the Cold War, engineers working for what later became the Hughes Aircraft Company developed satellite-based sensors designed to detect nuclear explosions anywhere on the planet.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
The technology was so sensitive it could identify the light signature of nuclear detonations in the upper atmosphere.
Wow.
The system eventually became part of the Vela satellite program, which monitored compliance with nuclear test ban treaties. Those detection methods were locked down under secrecy orders because revealing how they work would allow adversaries to begin to design tests that avoided detection. So, once that
makes sense.
You're constantly developing stuff. They say the fascinating twist of versions of this technology later helped astronomers discover gamma ray bursts, some of the most powerful explosions in the universe. Military secrecy accidentally opened a window into cosmic physics.
That's cool.
Another one here is cryptography breakthroughs. Encryption inventions are some of the most frequently suppressed patents. Before strong encryption became widely available to civilians, the U.S. government treated advanced cryptography almost like weapons.
It is a weapon if you think about it.
Advanced encryption algorithms, secure communication protocols, signal masking technology.
What was that movie? Oh, shoot. This would be a good one for your aftermath. It had Robert Redford in it. Remember, it dealt with that. Sneakers. Did you ever see Sneakers? They dealt with this encryption stuff, and somebody had invented something, and it could decode anything. It was a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, they said some of these inventions were classified not because they were offensive weapons, but because they could make communications too secure for intelligence agencies to monitor.
Okay.
Well, see, that's there you go with the government.
They say in 1971, inventor Joseph Newman claimed to have created a highly efficient electromagnetic energy machine. His patent application was placed under secrecy review because examiners believed it could potentially relate to advanced energy systems. Eventually, the government concluded the device violated known laws of physics and refused the patent. The case is often cited in conspiracy circles as proof that free energy inventions are suppressed.
Yeah.
The evidence suggests something more mundane. The invention simply didn't work as claimed. Extraordinary
But you see,
claim.
that's not up for the government to determine.
Right.
They'll determine that, free energy will blah, 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 blah. But it's not up to them to determine. You need to get the patent so no one else can steal your invention and make money off of it. I learned that with recipes.
Yeah.
As a chef type person, you got this recipe, you can go and you can get a patent for it. But if a person changes one little thing, instead of a teaspoon of pepper, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pepper in it. Guess what? It's a whole new invention.
Yeah.
So that's not up to the government to determine whether it works or not.
Say many patents involving directed energy weapons have received secrecy orders. These include concepts for high-energy battlefield lasers, anti-missile laser systems, and microwave crowd control devices. We kind of talked on this with our frequencies episode.
Crowd controlled devices. That's interesting.
It's kind of funny. We were talking about that. Some of these things, like we were talking about, what happens if you invent something, you hope to make some money off of it.
Yeah.
This is actually one of the few times you can sue the federal government.
Really?
Yes, for damages and compensation. Because if they put, I want to make money.
Yeah.
Okay, but you put the secrecy order on me for 10 years. I couldn't make that money. You can actually sue the government for compensation. They don't make it easy.
No, of course not.
But it's still one of the few things that you can sue the federal government for.
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, you may spend years in limbo, but eventually, then how do you prove damages? Like Jason just said, they said it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Well, but what if it would have?
Yeah.
Think about the guy who invented the engine that ran on water and they killed him.
Right.
How much money would he have made?
Right. Who knows?
That's why they killed him, because they didn't want to destroy the oil industry.
Right.
And how much money would he make?
Yeah.
That was...
And you don't want to pay him for the rest of his life.
That's one of the greatest movies that had come out in a long time and I'm surprised the company Ford actually participates in their movies. The guy who invented the windshield wiper.
Yeah.
They stole that from him.
Yeah.
And they had to pay him some money for that. But that's what the patent is for, is to protect companies from doing that, even though they still get around it.
Of course.
But I just think it's interesting that that's one of the few things you can sue the government for.
Yeah. I do that a lot of time with the art that I make. It's kind of like not technically copyright claimed, but there's a lot of digital assets that I've made before, and I try and keep them. I try and keep my project files under lock and key, and I give you guys like final versions of it, but not like the originals, because I'm like, I don't want to. Again, same sort of thing. You can tweak things on it. It's like, it's legally different. It's like, well, yeah, but anyways, so.
Well, one thing I had researching this topic, I read something about this 20% efficiency deal. How does this all apply to this patent deal? But I found here, it says in 1971, the U.S. government created a patent security category review used by defense agencies when screening patent applications under the Invention Secrecy Act. That list included energy technologies that might trigger a security review, including solar photovoltaic generators exceeding 20% efficiency and energy conversion systems exceeding 70 to 80%
But see,
efficiency.
here's my point. Why would you're allowing somebody else to look at your invention before you get the patent? That defeats the whole purpose of getting the patent. So now you're going to let this government entity or this company, this defense contractor or whoever look at your work and then make those little changes before you get your patent, and then they come out with the idea.
Well,
and then they secretly push it and push it and push it, and now you got weapons out there.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, that was in 1971. Now we don't know what the modern thresholds are used today. So, I mean, that could be completely off the deals. Commercial solar panels today commonly reach 20 to 23% efficiency. That's mainstream rooftop panels.
Yeah.
26 to 30% in lab grade silicon cells, and 40% plus in multi-junction cells used in satellites. So I mean, it's in
Is
essence
that above where all the pollution is, and you don't have all that filtering some of the sunlight out?
So basically, what it's saying is said obviously they're not using the 20% rule anymore because now the technology has exceeded these original thresholds.
Right.
So it's definitely it has gone up. So probably people that, I mean, think of somebody that develops a solar panel that efficiency is at near 100%.
Yeah. You can go I think you can go to Harbor Freight and get like some pretty big like solar panels that are just like metal framed, and they're like not expensive, and you can just there's two little wires on them and you can hook them up to any battery, and it works very well. I have a friend of mine that he got like 2 or 3 of them, and he uses them for like a whole bunch of different stuff or whatever. And it's cool. But
they said now with military, it's all it's different now. Back in Napoleon, I love this little statement. It says Napoleon supposedly said an army marches on its stomach.
Okay.
In the modern era, armies march on fuel and electricity.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Well, is the term national security too vague? I mean, what's y'all's opinion on that? Is it just too vague?
Well, the problem is if you put what I'd call, you kind of put it on the 4 corners, put it on paper, and you kind of define it down very specific.
Well, what's national security? Weapons, finance?
It could be.
I mean, there's so many. National security is
theoretically, it could be anything that could possibly jeopardize the American economy.
Yeah.
In any significant way. Somebody creates just like, for example, somebody creates a technology that, say, think of a composite, a body armor that's completely impervious to any sort of ballistics.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how valuable if if you sold that tech to, say, some foreign country and they can mass produce that?
Yeah.
Well, completely eliminates your ability. That gives them a tactical advantage that you don't have.
They're working on those robots. What happened if the Iron Man suit's right around the corner? Yeah. How valuable would that be?
I agree. Interesting.
Yeah, I think probably that's already here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do too.
I think the exosuits are. I've seen stuff on the internet with. Just looking at the robots on what China put out.
With the nunchucks.
I think that stuff is probably already there. I mean, I can definitely see in future wars, I could see soldiers in some sort of exosuit to give them, 10 times stronger and endurance. And
well, they have all that stuff, to help people walk, and they've shown that you can lift with the hydraulics and all that kind of stuff. They're right there with it, because what we see, they're 25 years in front of. They already have that, and it's funny, but
Yeah, I was listening to. So funny that we're talking about this, because I was listening to a podcast today. It wasn't about this per se, but I was listening to a show regarding, what's going on with, all these UFO sightings and stuff like that. And this guy was on, he's a former engineer, had a security clearance, worked at Boeing, kind of was in on some of these projects. But the flying saucer technology they've had it since like 1960.
Right.
And part of the podcast was addressing, how did Kennedy get killed? Why did he get killed? And supposedly stuff they found on the moon. And he wanted to actually do a joint mission with the Soviets.
Okay.
Kennedy did.
Yeah.
And I forget the act that he signed, whatever executive order. Well, the powers that be didn't like that,
of course,
because that would possibly compromise some things they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, his take on how all that went down and what kind of transpired from Truman to Eisenhower, and Truman created what would be the modern CIA,
Right.
And of course Eisenhower warned. I think he even recognized by the end of his administration. I mean, it was a veiled warning to Kennedy that I believe we have lost control of these programs, and I do believe that why the Pentagon can't pass an audit, why Trump has jumped up the defense budget by a lot. You can't tell me that's not going to black projects, where I personally think a lot of these people that do come up with an idea that truly kind of change the game, so to speak. I do believe a lot of that is happening behind the scenes. I mean, I like all these projects. We talked about MK Ultra and all these different things. You don't think they went away? They just classified under a different name, and it goes on down the road. I do believe that they've been gonna implant map the human brain into a quantum computer and all that. I think I believe that's probably here.
Yeah.
Because they've been working on this stuff for decades.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, even in the 90s, I believe you started to see some of the stuff that Reagan talked about with Star Wars, with SDI. Yeah. I do believe a lot of those programs have continued since that time. They've just now perfected it.
Right.
And or at least got it to a level where it's quite impressive to see. And I really think a lot of these wars or ways to get out there to test some of this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's called the military-industrial complex.
There's no doubt in my mind. Okay, we need to start something hot and then go out there, and we're not going to go and engage a country that could really cause major problems. No. But some smaller countries that we know we can crush pretty good. Yeah, we could test some of this stuff in real time. Man. So, I mean, what we were seeing with the drones and all that.
Speaking of which, did you see that Iran has come out, talking about small countries that were kicking their ass?
Yeah.
They said that they have destroyed so many of the U.S. missiles with their buildings. It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. You know me. I got to throw something out there for y'all.
We are.
Their whole Navy is gone.
Yeah, they
crazy.
Sunk
the whole Navy is gone.
They sunk the whole Navy.
That's crazy.
I hope. I mean, that's a whole different topic to talk about the Iran war, and I know there's all kind of opinions on it, stuff like that. And
so far, the only damage to an American ship is one of the, I think it's the Gerald Ford who had a fire in the laundry bay. That wasn't even caused by the
someone didn't
the
clean out the lint trap.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow.
That's
crazy.
Really? Are you kidding me? I think that happened yesterday or today.
Yeah. We are, the United States has not really been challenged.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, most of this technology that Iran is using, just like Venezuela, was provided by China.
Oh yeah,
and I think the Chinese are sitting back going, well, maybe we're not. Maybe we don't have what we.
That's why I think they're putting so much into the psychological warfare here on the home front.
Well, their two friends are gone. Russia and China are not helping them. But what did Venezuela and Iran do? It took away 60% of Iran's oil.
Yeah,
and took it away from them.
From China.
You can't have
because they were buying. They were buying their oil pretty at a discount
from Venezuela and Iran.
So I think there's a strategy, and I've kind of listened to some people regarding what's going on with Venezuela, now Iran.
Yeah,
I think probably Cuba's next. I think there's a reason there's a bigger geopolitical doing, and I think the whole reason why Trump has pushed the Greenland thing.
Yes.
I think it's. I know it's hard for people to look at it now, but I think he's looking like 25 years down the road.
Yeah.
No, he is thinking down the road.
You know,
I saw him speak the other day in a press conference, and he says, "I'm looking forward to a leadership change in Cuba very soon." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" Well, you know, they got what was it, Ayatollah Khomeini, and then they announced the new replacement, and within 4 hours, he was dead. Now they had to. Now his son is the new Ayatollah, but he's nowhere to be seen.
Of course,
they holed up in a bunker somewhere.
Yeah, they got them. They've been throwing them bunker busters out there pretty heavy.
Yeah,
hitting their nuclear capacity stuff.
I would hate to be them.
Yeah,
I really do, because I think because to me, China and Russia don't seem to be rushing to Iran's aid, even though they've been. Now, I do think Chinese and Russians are supplying intel.
Sure.
Probably.
And all they have to do is just kind of sit off the coast, and Americans are not going to attack a Chinese ship, because then that would be an open act of war against them. Nobody's going to do that. But I think it's not really helping them.
Yeah.
So
the only thing
there's always a big plan with all this stuff.
There's a lot of people online, I feel like, talking about World War III, and I think that everyone loves to throw that term around, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to stay.
I don't think
Iran, U.S.,
I don't
Israel.
think the people that are what I would say have kind of more level heads.
Yeah.
From an economic standpoint, they don't want World War III.
No. I think people are. I think people are
completely disrupt supply chains.
I think people are calling this World War III, and I was like, I don't think it's going to be World War III until China or Russia start getting involved.
I agree.
Then I can consider it a World War III.
That would be it. Now,
but right now, I think it's going to stay Israel, Iran, U.S. I think.
Could something happen? Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
you're right.
I mean,
I'm like Jason. There's a bigger picture going on.
Oh yeah,
and I love how these people are trying to give President Trump advice. Like the Prime Minister of the UK, and I forgot his name, is trying to tell Donald Trump what to do in this war. And I'm like, asking this dumbass for advice is like going to a nun and asking her advice on sex.
Well,
I mean, he's a complete dumbass. He doesn't know anything. And here he is trying to give the greatest leader of the world advice on his little war, and he's sitting back there and can't even control his own, Muslim population, totally destroying his country.
I mean, look, I'm just looking at, this is what people get tired of. I'm looking at this little, I have this app called Flipboard.
Okay.
And it's, I just get different things, but this is what the media puts out there.
Yes.
Just Donald Trump's unhinged day, as he means he can't leer at women at Women's History Month event.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That's we got war going on in Iran, and that's what you report. That's what you've been. It's just things have just gotten so stupid. I just the Trump derangement syndrome is real. Lord, I know I've been banned off of a couple of boards now because
Well, we did an episode years and years ago. I can't believe I'm saying that on who is America's greatest enemy, and I still stand by my choice of the media. The media is America's greatest enemy.
Well, it's been taken over by Marxists.
Well, that's it. The whole point. I mean, who runs that? The libtards and
who goes to journal? These journals, they're all liberal people.
Yes.
Now, there is really no balanced media where you can back in the old days where you had a liberal and a conservative on there, and you knew they were different.
You didn't have that. They kept their ideology quiet and just said the facts. Well, here's the facts. This many people did this. This many people did that.
That's a
this
24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
You got to entertain people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just remember just watching when CNN first came out when they had Crossfire.
Yeah.
They had the Pat Buchanan, Alan, I think Combs was his name. Obviously, very diametrically different politically. And they had their back and forth. And that's how I remember news. And then, of course, that all went away, and it's just now it just went all skewed left.
Because they still had a discussion. There wasn't a whole lot of fisticuffs there.
Yeah.
Look what happens on The View now. You bring a conservative on,
Oh, God.
and there's fisticuffs. You know, it's crazy to me that they can even allow something like that to be on TV.
Yeah, we just gotten off the, just, I don't know, it's just strange times. And
It is.
but there are a lot of things out there that I encourage people to look at some of these inventions that have been potentially short-circuited.
Yep.
Silenced. That people have discovered something. Whether the discovery needs a little bit more refinement, which is generally the case,
Right.
Unless they're kind of like a Nikola Tesla type of guy, which I've always found interesting with Tesla, when he describes his ideas, it wasn't like, well, if I do this, then this and this and this, kind of like the typical way you would think. What I've always found interesting, he said the entire idea from start to finish was implanted in his head at one time. One time.
Yes. Yes.
That's what made him different.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
But you see, that's the thing. That's what the patent was supposed to do. You were supposed to have an idea in your head, and you draw it out, you do whatever you need to do, and you go to the patent office so you could start trying to manufacture it. You could bring other people on board, or a company can, bring you on board, still protect your idea, and work out the kinks, and nobody could steal it from you. Because think about how many times, even with Nikola Tesla and Edison, with the light bulbs, and we talked about all that. It protected you to a certain extent. Now it doesn't. Is the government just stealing it? And I know that's kind of far-fetched.
Right.
We know the government does steal your shit. But, I mean...
Yeah, it definitely it will take, if you stumble upon something that is truly revolutionary. They're probably going to jump on it because they can't afford to have another country to get a hold of it and take advantage of it.
I wonder how many people have kept it secret, have these special things that they don't put through the patent office.
Well, I think a lot of these people that come up with these ideas, they're not thinking about that. I think they're so wrapped up into whatever they're working on, and I think there's this excitement. It's like I've got something.
Tesla wanted free energy for the world. That's what he thought about.
But so they get with an attorney, and
I
mean, matter of fact, I used to date a girl whose daddy was a patent attorney.
Oh wow,
really?
Yeah. So that's what he did.
Okay.
And so I mean, you get together and you get all the documentation, so you're all excited, and then all of a sudden
the government's
secrecy letter.
You get a letter,
no
and
talkie.
basically it's like, sorry, and you can't do anything with it either. I mean, you can't talk about it. You can't build it, even just for yourself.
Yeah,
you can't build it. But
that's interesting.
I probably think that there are people out there, that are just geniuses that are probably being monitored to a degree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they know the really, really smart people out there. I mean, you just have to go to the most elite universities.
Does that mean I'm being watched now?
Probably.
Probably so, Stoney.
Yeah. Wow.
May.
But
if you're not being watched before, you definitely are.
But
now.
I mean, I think all the stuff with of course now you got Musk and the Neuralink and the chip and he's wanting to go to Mars and believe me, there's a bunch of stuff regarding Mars that I found out today is pretty interesting. A lot of interesting stuff about the moon and Buzz Aldrin and all that. Yes, very interesting today. I listened to some very good stuff that kind of, was like, yeah, that kind of does make sense.
I like it when we talk about space stuff. I think I've noticed a couple of episodes. I think that I've left going, I like that episode a lot. It was been when we talked about space stuff. I feel like,
yeah, it's
that's cool stuff.
Why the Apollo program did what it did, and Yeah, it's pretty.
That's cool.
It was shocking when
Yeah.
I heard that. I was like,
Okay.
really? Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to send me a link to whatever that was. I want to hear it.
It's the new Y-Files.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's changed his format. It's now
Okay.
He doesn't have the fish anymore?
Well, they've kind of done a new format with them in the basement, and it's strictly an interview now with a guest.
Yeah.
Versus where he was just singly probably in front of a teleprompter reading a script.
Yeah.
He's now having a conversation like we are right now.
Yeah.
With a guest talking about whatever topic.
Yeah.
They're doing, but I highly recommend right now some of the stuff on the JFK. He interviewed another guy that he did a show on Discovery. I can't think of the guy's name right now, but known for finding like old relics and tracking down stuff.
Yeah.
And he had him on for a show, and he had some interesting things to say, but the one I just listened to today dealing with the UFO stuff and the moon, JFK assassination, all that stuff, really, really interesting show. So, a lot of these shows, have really good people that come on and can really kind of dive into the meat of this stuff. But, yeah, good stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I learn stuff every single because that's all I do all day long. I listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
All day while I'm at my computer.
Yeah.
So I am listening. I'm always listening for. That's where we get ideas to talk about.
You're right.
So, yep.
Fun stuff.
We keep inventing.
Yeah. Even if you get silenced.
If you get silenced. So anybody out there listening that's got an idea in their head, they're just kind of, saying, no, this is nothing, or I can't do anything with this. Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot. I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah. Like I had said earlier, I think I would be both very frustrated and also honored if I got that letter in the mail. I'd be like, dang it, but also,
right?
I got something the government wants me to keep silent.
Well, the thing about it, you'll always have it.
I know.
Per se, it's just you really can't do anything with it.
Of course, right. But anyway,
unless you're like Madman Markham.
Yeah.
That's another dude that's interesting.
With all that being said, if you have any ideas, if you have any topic suggestions, any patents you want to send our way, I'm kidding. We have the email address, getoffendedtogether@gmail.com, where you can send the more long-form responses to that. And we also have comment sections on like Spotify and YouTube where you can send the more short-form stuff. Be sure to like and subscribe where you can. It really helps us out, and share it with somebody that you think would enjoy this show. And until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
In today's episode, we talked about something most Americans have never heard of, the Invention Secrecy Act, a law that quietly allows the government to make an invention that someone spent years dreaming up and lock it away in a vault of national security. Now, let's be fair. Every country on earth keeps secrets. If someone invents something that could help an enemy build a better missile, a better weapon, or a better surveillance system, it probably shouldn't be published on the internet the next morning. That still leaves a lot of tension because America is supposed to be the land of the inventor, the garage tinkerer, the small town engineer who builds something world-changing on a workbench after dinner. When the state steps in and says, nope, not this one belongs in the shadows, it forces us to wrestle with a deeper question. And that deeper question is not whether America keeps secrets. Of course it does. The deeper question is how many inventions disappear into that silence. Who gets to decide whether the rest of us hear about them? That's worth thinking about. Because invention and innovation built this country, but secrecy has shaped it too. Thank you for joining us today. You're the best. Peace.